broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome into another episode, I guess the first episode of this mini-season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians here at Afterbuzz TV in our brand new surroundings. I don't know if y'all can tell at home. We have a new studio. We moved studios here in lovely Los Angeles. So last week we were off. We were off because we were moving. So we are back now. We'll be back with you for the next couple episodes. Obviously tonight, I'm Bobby. Next to me is Frankie, as always. You guys know us. Across the table, Sterling and Nick.
What up?
And what's your name?
He does it often. Nick.
Move on. Nicholas Katz.
So Nick, you're new here. Tell us a little bit about you. Are you
Just get into it.
Okay, lot to talk about today before we get into it. Kardashian stuff since we last saw you three, since we last saw you guys at home. Everybody, you can always comment on YouTube like you've been doing. You guys can tweet us. I think it is all of our names. She's XOXOCESCA. The rest of us are our names. Nicholas Grava, Sterling Cates, Bobby DeMuro. What do we think of Kardashian news off season? Anything big happen? I can't really think of anything.
Well, you mean other than everything?
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I didn't know if that was sarcasm. I was going to support you and be like, yeah, nothing except for
Caitlyn.
Everything.
I don't see anything about them in the news ever. It's
Okay,
so weird. I don't think I have anything to say other than...
Did you guys all watch Am Cait? Did anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I was on that after show. If you saw that after show, you know how I feel. I blew it up.
In a positive or negative?
In natural
Totally
Bobby
negative.
fashion.
Totally negative.
Would expect nothing else from you.
No, I mean, here's the thing. We talked about this. Here's the thing. The Kardashians are frivolous. I Am Cait was a serious show about a very serious issue. Sure. It should have been treated differently. Is her story awesome? For sure. Obviously, why wouldn't it be? It's incredible. Is the show maybe the right vehicle to have done that?
So you don't think that it should have been a show like it was?
Not the way that they did it. I had real high hopes for E! Like we all did, because we saw the specials and everything. We talked about them.
The specials were great.
And they were awesome. And the first episode was really good. And then it went downhill. At the end, I think it kind of redeemed itself. It was fine, whatever. And it's part of a conversation, so that's important. But was it the right medium and the right way to get out this message? Probably
I think
not.
the time, for me, when I was watching it, it all felt a bit early to be showing things. And in that way, it almost felt sometimes superficial, because I don't think she even knew what was going on internally and how she felt. So it just felt forced and early, and I would have rathered her maybe take time to herself before she put this together and started filming everything. Yeah.
I did appreciate that it was super educational for her. And so it showed a lot of, stuff that she didn't know about before. And now she's going through that process of, being a part of that community. So I did like that it was kind of raw in that sense. As she wasn't like, I know everything about this, but she was really vulnerable in that regard. But I did feel like because of that, I did like seeing that, but I also felt like every episode was like that. It was kind of the same.
Yeah.
And
didn't really see much growth.
And she went back to frivolous. When she didn't know what to do, she went back to frivolous. She went back to superficial. And so it became frustrating to watch it because there's so much serious stuff happening. There's so many serious issues in this community. In the first episode, she says, we're going to tackle it. We're going to tackle suicide. We're going to tackle things like this that are really, really tough to talk about. And then they didn't really tackle them. Like, I'm sorry, they just didn't.
That makes sense.
And
but
for
you
better
also
or worse,
can't do it over 8 episodes or whatever.
But then maybe it shouldn't be.
I think that's
the problem is, for better or worse, she believes herself in the public eye in this regard, I think, to be kind of a conversation starter. This is going to start a conversation. This is going to put a conversation into a house where you wouldn't have otherwise had it. The public incorrectly believes she is the role model.
Exactly.
She is the one to follow. She is not a role model yet. Could she be one day? For sure. She doesn't know enough about this community. She doesn't know anything about this community and still knows relatively little. She was an outsider.
Right.
So for her to come in, the perception and reality were different on this. They didn't match, and it's not her fault, but that show kind of landed with
I think what they did well was surrounding her with those people.
Yeah.
That was really helpful. If that wasn't there, it would have been a train wreck. Because those people really held the show and brought the positive aspects and educational things to it. without it, I don't know what it would have
In the
been.
serious aspects, we're going to go visit transgender women of color. We're going to go visit the Human Rights Campaign. We're going to go visit, kids who are struggling with this, or kids who are transitioning or struggling to tell their parents, whatever it is. Those positive aspects, whereas we had Caitlyn with her two friends, Rhonda and Courtney. I don't want to see your Kardashian-level drama on this show. That's more important than this.
And that's later, I feel.
Yeah.
Show us that later. For now, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's get into Kardashians. I guess we can't talk about Am Cait because it done happened and it's over. I don't know if there'll be a second season, but there's a first season of this, or 10th season of this. Before we get into it, I do have a cool new show for you guys. Raise your hand at this panel if you have ever been a crazy ex.
Absolutely not. I'm perfectly
Absolutely
sane.
not.
I'm going to call
totally
bull
sane.
crap on every single one of you.
We're
Especially,
all very sane people. I think Sterling's crazy.
I think you are probably
That's
crazy.
messed up. I am no sane person. Don't
What do you
accuse
mean?
me.
Don't get on my bad side.
I think Sterling
know where you
says
live.
What do you
positive
mean?
vibes only.
I live next to you.
That's true.
I'm his
No,
neighbor,
she's
saying
great.
my
She's
name.
very
Are you
nice.
really?
Yeah.
But literally?
I mean, we're not not going to
like-
walk over and get flour because she's not 10 feet away, but she is in the
I also
complex
don't
right
have flour
there.
ever.
Me
so.
neither. Gluten free.
You guys are in the same complex?
No, they're
Right next to we
We'll
are
talk about this
actual
after.
neighbors.
Yeah,
Not
we don't
important
need
to the
everyone to
viewers.
know where they live.
Just to the viewers.
That's neither here nor
think.
there. The reason I mention it is there is a new show out. This promo actually looks hilarious. They gave us copy to read and kind of make our own. A new show of a woman named Rebecca Bunch who lived in New York, had her dream job, gave it up to follow her dream man to West Covina, California. If you don't know anything about West Covina, it is not close to the beach. It is not dreamy LA. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is not like dreamy Beverly Hills.
It's not what you
that
see
think
in
of.
the TV and
It's not the
film.
stereotypical LA.
There's an IKEA out there.
That's
There's
good.
an IKEA.
Comes in handy.
And I kind of like this show. It's basically called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Getting very, very good reviews. It's from the writer of The Devil Wears Prada, from the director of 500 Days of Summer,
I love that movie.
starring and co-created by internet sensation Rachel Bloom. I saw her on your phone earlier, Nick. Don't even lie.
Okay.
Little singing, little dancing, little crazy. It's called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It'll give you something to sing about. It is on the CW. You can check out the trailer, cwtv.com. Series is called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It will premiere Monday, October 12th at 8/7 Central
It did look
on
really
the CW.
funny.
I actually am probably going to take a look. I really like the whole New York to West Covina idea.
I
So
actually
I'm-
really like the billboards they have around for that show.
I
It's
haven't
like
seen it.
it's her holding a balloon, but the string is cut and the balloon is still up in the air.
I have seen
and
it.
she has this obviously crazy look on her face, and the caption says "Never let go," and she's just holding the string, and she's like,
I like
I was like, that's hilarious. That's pretty good.
Oh my god.
Is that hilarious because it's relatable, Sterling?
I think I know a couple people who are like that.
That was
I was like, oh hey, that looks like my friend.
friend Shirley Katz.
Mirror.
Oh my god, I'm on a billboard. Okay, this is like not painting me well. I think we need to move on.
So, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Monday, October 12th, 8/7 Central on the CW. Okay, let's get into it. We are talking It Feels Good to Be Home. The second episode. Well, let's back up. The first episode of this miniseries was like a first look for half the episode to the second episode.
I didn't understand really what you were
so there
saying.
was a first episode last week, but then in the middle of the week, they released a first look episode for this week's episode, which was 30 minutes of this episode.
Hour long.
Yeah, and I
doing
watched
that
it.
now. Actually, this isn't the only show that's done it on their network. That's I guess their new thing to get people interested. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
But
to
it
me.
literally was a whole episode almost. Because I mean, the episode's 45 minutes essentially.
Yeah.
But it's 30 minutes.
Right.
Seems crazy.
E is the best at this. You just got to tip your hat. They stretch content from nothing. And I mean, we watched Kardashians for 10 seasons. We're hey, listen, man, we're paying into the pot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is technically the second episode. They're in Armenia. Armenia and Israel to start. We see the baptism, North's baptism in Israel. We see this.
One thing we should say about last week, and I think
Go
the
for it.
biggest takeaway is when they're in Armenia and Kim obviously is getting all the attention. They're calling her Princess Kim. Like everyone's interested in seeing her. No one's interested in Khloe she's being left by security
That
in
was
the mob
crazy.
of people, and she's like, guys, what am I supposed to do? You're like protecting Kim. Kim's safely in the van. I'm back here with like
Oh
the
my
mob
gosh.
of people.
Kim was like, no, we were watching you. She's like, no, you weren't. I was lost in the crowd.
He didn't even know where I was. And then when they were at that, it was like they were showing him all the dresses and stuff, and they put on the outfits, and Kim told her she looked like a monkey, and then told her to dance because she didn't want to. So she was like, "I'm just Kim's little monkey." Like she's like, "Dance, monkey, dance." I was like, that was pretty funny. And then she wasn't invited to Kanye's concert. I was like, poor Chloe, just getting the...
I feel like it's not maybe Armenia is safer than a mob in America because Kanye went into the water and was mobbed, and he was like having the time of his life.
I did see
Yeah.
that, and everyone rushed around. I'm like, are they going to be security
what I
going to be
thought.
jumping in?
Well, so what they didn't mention in the show is that concert was shut down by the Armenian police, and like everyone had to leave because it like all hell broke loose.
That's a little crap. I mean, first of all, how do you even set that up?
I know that's
Twitter,
what I
man.
thought was funny.
Yeah, but where do you get your lights and your mic and your sound
Because
and all
Kim
that?
said, "Oh, Kanye just had this idea, so I just left without my makeup on and my hair done. It was
in my sweats."
fully planned."
You guys, when Kanye wants a concert, he's going to get a concert, Antarctica included. It doesn't matter where it is.
Why are we seeing Kanye though? Isn't he usually not in the contract and doesn't want to be
Well,
shown?
neither
Is
is
this a new?
North.
Yeah, is this a new?
I think this was just a
negotiation?
special occasion.
I think because
Okay.
it's so special for the baptism and.
North is just so stinking cute.
In the first episode, Kanye, he was touring a music school, an after school, and he was directing the cameras where he wanted them. He was like, all right, I think you should maybe go back there and get the shot of full. And
Yeah, he's like, can you get the
tried to
low
say that he
angle,
was,
like, down the computer?
directing it very artistic. And I looked, and then they showed the shot, and I was like, bro, there ain't nothing artistic about that. Don't even
The Kardashians
blow up.
B-roll team does not need help. Like,
Yeah,
they
the
like
B-roll team's
all
unreal.
fabulous B-roll.
Yeah.
I will say this: Kanye as president, probably not a good communications person. He should hire a press secretary.
You
sure.
should hire a lot of people.
Kanye as churchgoer. The scene tonight where they go to that monastery and he can't stop smiling.
Is he going against the whole like
He's just
Kanye doesn't
staring
smile?
at the guy's outfit. He's like, this is what I'm gonna do next Yeezy season. This is Yeezy 3. I'm seeing it right now. It's
So
all
true.
happening in my head.
Yeah.
I love when Kanye smiles, and it always reminds me of the meme where he's sitting there eating ice cream. Have you seen it? Where he's
No.
smiling.
That's such a good one.
Because he has like just this childlike happiness, and Kanye, especially because of like his surgery and everything, he just looks always so close, tight,
but when
serious.
he smiles,
but when he
it's
smiles,
like
it's just
contagious. I've always like every time I see him smile, I'm like, I just really want to know exactly what he's thinking right
I
now.
think he's honestly, I hate on him a lot in here, but I really do think he's like probably a really nice, sincere,
He seems-
fun,
yeah.
light-hearted guy. But I think I hate that he puts on the other act then on the other side
Yeah.
of it. And it's like hashtag Kanye eat the cookie that they are offering you. And he made up so many awkward excuses. I felt I was gonna eat the cookie right here. I'm like, dude, just eat it. Literally eat it.
His last excuse was, "I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to dump them over my
He's like, I'm
head."
gonna take them all and
there's
just.
the meme.
Oh, is that it?
well, that's not him smiling. But
See, here's the thing. So when Kanye breaks
Colder than Kanye.
Kanye character, like he did tonight for like that split second when he couldn't stop smiling, is Kanye trolling all of us all the time? And he's actually just a really normal dude who like barbecues and watches sports and like goes and plays golf. Like he's not the guy he's trolling us as. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that, but it doesn't. That's what makes. I don't like people that come off, disingenuous. I don't like that. I wish I just liked people to be who they are. So when I see his fake front, that's what makes me like turn off.
I feel
with this
like-
BS.
I don't think Kanye's that normal as you're describing
really?
him. I don't think he's like...
He doesn't. He
knows
doesn't
how to
go
turn
up
on a
and-
grill.
and pick up a bag of charcoal and like go down and
Yeah.
like change the oil in his
No,
car.
I definitely
and-
don't think that's...
Not
He's
a-
not a normal human being like all of us, but I definitely think he literally is both of the people that we see. He's just got multiple personalities.
I do have a confession. I tried to reserve his sneakers on this past launch, and I felt so ashamed by it.
You
and I
should,
didn't get
because
them.
how ridiculously expensive were they?
No, they're only like they're expensive, but they're $200 when they're released. But then they go up on eBay
okay.
for like thousands and thousands. But if
And
you get them
people
when they're
buy it.
released, I was up all night. It's okay. We're gonna move on. And I don't even like him, but okay.
You were up all night.
Bobby, it's not the point of the story. I was just lightly sharing something because I'm a genuine person, and we're gonna move on.
He wants to be transparent.
Yeah.
Hey man, more power to you. Would you like to move on to any more Kanye? Is that going to give you too many bad memories and you want to move forward?
We're gonna move forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. So Armenia, I think, really important for them. You know, like weird things happen, cool things happen, but really important for that family. Israel, really cool. That baptism is really cool. I'm surprised we get to see as much of it as we did.
I thought that too.
North, very well behaved.
Wow.
Would have been really confusing.
What a doll.
What? I didn't even. It was just like North mumbles. That's all it said. And totally fine with the stranger picking her up and dunking her in water.
Yeah.
She's used to the cameras on her.
She's used to other people taking care of her, so she thinks it's just another person.
That's really
probably
sad.
True though.
Yeah.
I don't see Kim doing it. No.
I am sad that he who shall not be named did not eat a cookie, but we covered that, and I'm not allowed to say anything more.
Yeah.
And then the last thing for me in the Middle East is Kim. Quote, "Where did Jesus walk? I want to walk on the same path."
And Chloe entertains it slightly.
I mean,
But not this patio.
Listen,
That's a patio.
that's why people go. That's why you go to the Middle East. That's why a lot of people go, because you want to go to these holy lands, whether it's Christianity or any other religion. But the way that it comes across when Kim says it, it's a little bit different. It doesn't sound the same. Like your grandfather, like those are the kind of people who, like, you see these American tours. I don't know if you guys have ever been in the Middle East, but they have these American tours and these huge buses pull up and all these like 70-year-old American, like these couples who've been married for 50 years and they're making like their pilgrimage that they finally get to make now that they're retired. Coming from them, it means one thing. Coming from Kim, you're like,
what's the best Instagram angle?
yeah. You can't take it seriously.
Wait,
I hate to say that.
Let's really fast talk about Chloe's
Phone case.
phone case.
Need one.
Need-
ASAP.
yes.
Right now.
That
Wow, I
light.
can't believe you guys. So
He said the same
Yeah, no,
thing
order me
when
one
we
too.
were watching
listen,
it.
good lighting's good lighting. You know, I can't deny it.
She's taking selfies in the car at night. Like, I struggle.
She was FaceTiming with perfect light all around her.
I have to like put
Who doesn't
on
want
all my
that?
like lights in my car and put down my like my windshield shield lights and
Yeah.
stuff like that to get a night selfie.
It looked like the case that was
What a
charging.
struggle.
Yeah, it's
first world
really-
problems.
Life is so hard sometimes.
Anyways,
Well,
back to
do you wanna know where
Armenia.
You guys changed the topic from religion to selfies, so I'm just going to leave that.
I think
let
I was
that
the
hang.
segue too. I think I mentioned Instagram, so
Just going to let that hang out there for,
Yeah. if y'all know where to
here
buy
on
them,
and
post the link
forever.
below. Help us out. Save us a few minutes.
Do you think
Yeah, tweet that, please.
Do you think that there's maybe an online waiting list and you might not get one?
Honestly, I thought after tonight's episode airs, this thing is like, it's going to blow
People-
up.
it's
People are
gonna
going to
blow
be
up.
looking for it. I hope Kanye doesn't design something and then I can't get it.
Let's go home to America. Funniest scene of the episode, definitely Kris asking for water and Scott being like, I don't need your life story.
He's like, just yes or no, please. It's too much. funny.
Chris's struggle city though. This is
Yeah.
like serious struggle cities, which we'll talk about, and then kind of goofy struggle cities. Which one do you guys want to hit first?
Let's struggle
do-
sillily first.
Piano. Let's talk piano. Kris does not play piano. Kim does not play piano.
Yeah.
What's going on?
They hire someone to just play piano so
In
there's
their
music in the
house,
house.
yeah.
The rest of it's just like eating and talking around the piano.
Or they just
player.
sit on the bench for like 30 seconds with the person actually playing.
Did Kris actually pay up that $100 to Courtney for playing
No.
Little Lamb or whatever?
Probably not.
It's sad. You know what? In all of the build-up, for when I'm looking at the media, Kris doesn't seem to be really in the stories right now. About mostly, even in Am Cait, she was sort of not there. And the shows at the award show when Caitlyn went out and had a speech, she wasn't there. So I've been having the feeling she's struggling with this. How wouldn't you struggle? But again, I think seeing her struggle right now, it's so real. And the one thing I think we all do appreciate and like about the show is when it really does get honest and real.
And raw.
And even though she is joking here and there, when she was sitting like backstage at the Kanye concert, I mean, I felt for her. That's yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit I teared up a little bit.
You did.
I'm a little skeptical because this will go down 50 years from now. Somebody needs to do a very good long-form, truly investigative journalism piece on this that needs to come, and I would love to read it. Kris is obviously the driving factor behind this entire phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew to what degree, because I think it's more than any of us have any idea. Caitlyn is, in her perspective, public relations wise, Caitlyn has gone rogue. Caitlyn's telling Caitlyn's story. Kris isn't involved. And so I'm not saying that's the cause of Kris's sadness, because there's the relationship that broke up and then the Caitlyn transition that has, leaving her empty in two ways. But this idea of Kris not being on top of the major storyline is involved. Am I crazy?
No, I think that's it can be seen. Listen, I think a lot of people are going to be saying that. A lot of people always question what they do if it's a PR stunt. But I think on the surface it looks like that, but distilled down, it really will affect her life and everyone in the family's life, no matter what Caitlyn is saying. So yes, it's a PR thing, but then it comes down to her everyday life, papers, photos, people, is going to be affected by that. So that is an actual issue for her to deal with.
Can she separate the two? I mean, we will never know that, but can she separate the two?
I can't imagine it. I don't see how you do.
I mean, for me, like, just that scene of her smelling the clothes and just, that was, like, just really, like, this isn't about PR. This is, like, my husband's clothes and he's gone. And, like, that was kind of, like, one of those, wow, this is, like, a real thing.
I must be watching a different show than you guys, because I am just born skeptical on this stuff.
You definitely are.
I don't know.
I don't think you're alone on thinking that.
I don't want to downplay, like, her having a hard time with it.
For sure. No, absolutely. And I'm not hating it. I obviously watch. I can't wait for the show to come back. But I'm also like, we know how the game is played.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they play the game better than anybody.
I just feel, and maybe I'm an idiot for feeling this way, I feel really, I think what she's going through, her, even like when she hugs the jacket, sniffs the jacket, I really think that's like true feelings, because you want to be you want to be happy for Caitlyn, and you are happy, but there is this really dark, depressing side, and I like that they show that also, instead of just the constant, confessional style, like, oh, we've gone and it's great. Like, no, show the real stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially they got divorced. They're not married. So not only does she lose, like, her lover, it's almost like a death. But then you have this reminder of him all the time, but it's not him. It's almost like, say, she was married to a twin, and you would always see the other person always remind you. So it's like, it's almost like she can't heal properly because Caitlyn's still there, kind of hindering it. You know what I mean? So it's, I can't even imagine. That'd be just the weirdest feeling to go through, like loss, but not.
It's an interesting situation because it's not like a super common thing, obviously. Right. So it's like there's no one way to handle it, and of course they're in a very unique situation just because of their status and because of her role she plays within the family and because they were married and all of these things. So it's like not one way that she's dealing with this or having to struggle with it. It's she's struggling with it as a manager. She's struggling with it as an ex-wife. She's struggling as, you know what I mean? There's so many different angles to it.
And the piano lessons are vintage Kris. Get busy and run away from the problem that way.
That's the whole, look at the whole family. Kendall said the same thing. Chloe, they haven't even gone and met, at this point when we're watching, they haven't gone and met Caitlyn. And it's because, and they're busy, they're working. What better way? I mean, if I'm having a tough time, I always push myself into my work or a hobby, an activity and stuff. It distracts you. I feel like it's a normal thing.
You work?
No, mostly unemployed, so more activities and hobbies. Going all
activity. Well, and even going out that, I'm usually not a big
tennis 1 week,
I am usually not one to I don't know. With Kylie, I'm just for me, it's just I can't stop watching what's happening with her. Yeah. Sort of feeling. It's kind of unsettling.
But do you follow her on Snapchat?
Yeah, I follow her on Snapchat. So that kind of hurts sometimes.
Do you follow her?
I haven't opened up Snapchat in at least a calendar year.
Okay, bigger issue there.
But
is there? Which one of us is taking selfies?
Probably a bigger issue here, but.
But I actually felt bad for Kylie during the Billboard red carpet, when she was getting really unsettled. And also, I don't think she's used to having to face the cameras by herself anyway. So there's a lot of the Caitlyn stuff, but also just, she's like, oh my God, where is everyone? I'm so used to everyone doing the talking for me.
And how awkward was that they had asked permission to take a picture together? I mean, 'cause she's there for H&M and the Bauman collection. I understand that, but oh my God, that's your sister.
She was like, "Can I take a picture with her?"
Is that a conflict or is that fun?
Well, because they're worried that somebody's going to sell it and her rights with what she's wearing or whatever, or with H&M.
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
It's so crazy.
Are you guys? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we always talk about how much people love to hate the Kardashians. So at that moment, I could only imagine what maybe possible stories might have gone on at that time, because you could see the look on Kylie's face just really like uncomfortable, and like they had to separate really fast. And I was just thinking about how fast someone could have taken to the blogs and been like, oh my God, the sisters are fighting. That's my random train of thought.
Sisters torn apart.
I thought the best scene and shot in the Kardashians, as far back as I can remember, was the red carpet tonight. Being on the red carpet with the handy camera, whatever they had, walking around with Kylie. It was chaos. And it's like, hey, you want to live this life? This is the life. This is what you have to do if you want to be one of these people. And it's not like it's obviously not the most difficult life in the world, and it's all stupid and frivolous at the end of the day, but it's chaotic as hell. It's stressful as hell. She's 17. She's still 17 at the point of
the show, yeah.
She's 17 years old. Like, come on. I thought that was that's actual reality TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the great insight. Probably very unproduced, because the red carpet people were probably going to have none of it. You can't take multiple takes.
Right, exactly. I wish it was more like that, honestly.
Me too.
Unless, hey, let's get these two together, sit down on the couch, give them the questions to ask each other. That's what I think.
Can
I
we
wish
talk
it was
about
more.
The fake fight between Kendall and Kylie.
Can we talk about that? Yeah.
They didn't want to fight. It was like, I wish you were there for me. I know, I agree. I should have been there for you. So there was like no conflict.
I feel like Kylie did have that real feeling that she was kind of bummed that her sister couldn't really be with her and all that. But that one thing that she said on the couch, she was just, her tone changed, and it was like, I'm just saying this because the cameras are on me. Like that kind of like tone. And yeah, it was kind of forced. It felt
forced for Kylie to be like, you have to protect me, or whatever it was. Like, I'm your younger sister. Because Kylie, it always seems, and especially with what she's been doing lately, she's trying to get out from under the young one, the younger sister, the other one. Kendall's the supermodel. I'm the other girl. She's trying to make her own name, for better or worse. So to hear her say that on the show, I'm like, I'm not buying that. You shouldn't have made her do that.
Right.
You know,
it felt a little sarcastic to me. She's like, yeah, you should.
And that's the irony. I mean, assuming that was kind of a forced conflict. Maybe
as
it wasn't.
A younger sister, you want to like, as the baby sis in the fam. I feel like I never wanted anything to do with my siblings unless I like needed them, and I'm like, well, where are you? Like, I needed you, and then I don't know them other times.
Didn't they even say there was like Kylie sent Kendall an outfit coordination or something for that thing? She was like, oh, did you get my email about our color coordination? I thought she was literally saying she emailed being like, don't wear this color, wear this. I'm wearing this. And I'm like, guys, is this actually produced?
Sarcasm.
Okay.
Because like Kylie had said they kind of have that.
And I can't read sarcasm.
Kylie said she's almost gone through life having like a twin. So they're on like a different wavelength, you know?
Yeah. I'm still caught up on the sarcasm. The thing though that kills me is we wonder why Kylie, at least I wonder why Kylie is stressed so much about the Caitlyn interview, the billboard, the red carpet, because to me it's like, if you want to do an interview well that you're nervous about, just tell the truth. Doesn't mean you tell everything. It means you're just honest. And yet we turn around and see Kylie presumably kind of goaded into a fake conflict with Kendall. So it's like, where does she get this idea that you shouldn't tell the truth to the media? Well, it's been reinforced into her every day of this filming. Yeah. Every day filming every one of these shows, this is the created stuff they do. And then when something serious happens, like Caitlyn comes out and this whole thing goes down, and Kylie's left on the red carpet and somebody wants to know a truthful answer, she's lost.
Well, and when she's with Kim earlier in the episode, she's like, well, we've had to keep this secret the whole time, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say, or it still feels like we're keeping it a secret, and because we've known it for so long, so I feel like she just hasn't,
look, man,
she doesn't know where they stand
media
on that.
Training 101 for anybody, seriously. Yeah. Because in this day and age, people go viral for weird stuff, non-public figures go viral. Just be honest.
But here's my thing. These people are at such a different level.
Then they should know better.
No, but being honest doesn't always work out for them. They still will have their words twisted. I think that's where their nerves come from, is they do give an honest interview, and suddenly, even in Caitlyn Jenner's big first interview, she said some things. She said she was being really honest, and then suddenly everything was twisted. But listen, or maybe that was exactly
if you're concerned about your words being twisted, don't then go out and try to be a public figure. Don't show up on the red carpet. I agree.
It's part of the job. I understand that.
If you show up on the job, I'm not saying be totally transparent and tell everything. I'm just saying if something comes up, be honest. And if the honesty for Kylie is, hey, what do you think about Caitlyn's transition XYZ? Well, you know what? I really don't know what to think right now because I just haven't had a lot of time with her, or whatever it is. That's it. That's all you have to say. And if that gets twisted and you can't handle it as a public figure, being a public figure is not for you. You know.
Well, Kylie also doesn't really have much of a choice,
Yeah.
though. She is kind of born into this.
She's got hair extensions, man. She's got stuff. She were born into
has to. What do you mean? What else is she's just gonna go start working at Whole Foods?
What about
She's
Rob?
Got to do this.
What about Rob going completely?
Yeah, and look at all this crap
what's
he
happening
gets
to
talked
him.
about him.
No. But what I'm saying is he doesn't acknowledge it or talk about it. And if he comes out now, then
He's
that's a different
literally
conversation.
living in like a dark hole right
Yeah,
now.
Rob's got a lot
I
of
would
other
not put
issues.
him as the poster boy.
But my point is, he left public life. That's the thing. If she had wanted to leave public life from the start, she wouldn't have done the hair extensions. She wouldn't have done this show.
He made the socks.
Well, that was a problem.
What you mean, Bobby?
And now,
what?
and he made the socks, and now he wants to. It's like he wants to take it back. It's like,
Right.
well, okay, you can take it
Because
back.
it was a bad.
But
Because Happy Socks came out and beat him. But
I don't think everyone in the family needs to be like, hey, I'm on a microphone
Yes.
and I'm doing this interview and I'm really well spoken and I handle every question really well. Kylie's always been the one that never does confessionals, never talks on the show ever. This episode was the most I've ever seen her talk in this whole 10 seasons on the show.
Really?
Like, I feel like
I
she never
think-
really talks. She's super quiet. Like, even, like, I feel like now, following her on Snapchat, I feel like I know her way more.
Yeah, we're friends
She's
now.
never talking. It's always just videos of her.
and follow and Snapchat.
You know what I mean?
And taking over for Kim. Didn't Kim say I've passed the torch? Kylie's working it.
let me tell you, talking about Kim though, I have to applaud her for how well we see that she's handling this whole situation. It seems like she's helping. She's there for her mother. She's there for Caitlyn. She's there for her younger sisters, giving advice. And she doesn't seem like she's, I mean, I'm sure behind closed doors she's dealing with her own stuff. But clearly that's someone, talk about media training, she knows how to do it. And
right.
does it well.
Kim's also at a different point in her life. Is she 32, 33 now?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, dare I say, slightly sick of the media public life now that you're a mother. Maybe you think a little bit differently about it.
I think she's
Not
just
saying-
focusing on it. Yeah.
Exactly. Not saying she's going away, but I think she's different than where she was at 28.
She has a foundation under her, and like the media's not defining her anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas Kylie, they run a big story. Kylie may feel like that's her life right now, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. She's young.
They're-
She's 8. Oh my!
I see on Twitter all the time. They're just constantly tearing her apart.
Kylie.
Yeah, and she
Probably hard.
is she just turned 18 and everything like that, and people have. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine growing up like they did? Not only now in this time with Snapchat, Instagram, Vine, all that, but being on TV too.
No.
You're just gonna be messed up, and I don't say that like she's crazy, but you're just gonna be so different from everybody
Scott
else.
even said, I think it was in the first episode. Someone asked her, "What do you do? What do you do in your normal day?" And she's like, "Well, sometimes I go to the house and have meetings and this and that with my interior decorator."
Yeah.
So it's like at 18, you're having meetings with interior decorators for your first house. That's crazy.
Listen, I just go to Pinterest when I'm trying to figure out how to decorate my living room.
Maybe that's what Kylie meant. She was just being cute about it.
Oh,
Pinterest
okay.
is her interior.
That's her interior
I don't
decorator.
think so.
Me neither.
No.
But part of that, what you were saying, part of that, the internet and the comments and stuff, that's fame in this day and age. Like, and that's the two-headed monster of Kylie and Kendall specifically growing up in the digital era. We always talk about how the Kardashian girls in general do social media so well, and these new websites and all this stuff, they do it so well. Dude, the two who do it the best are Kylie and Kendall because they're natives and they get it. They understand how to use these things and how to use the team that they have. But that's a two-headed monster because everybody else is on the internet too, and most of them are anonymous, and most of them are dumb.
Yeah.
So I feel like you know what you're going to get, and you either ignore it all, or you make fun of it all, or it affects you, and if it affects you, that's a problem.
Yeah. I feel like you can ignore it and stuff, and that's great, and that's probably the most, healthy way to deal with it, and not let it affect you too much. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you read that, it does, kind of hammer at you a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to read this, terrible... like a death threat or something like that, that people that are out there.
A credible
and it's not
death threat's a little bit different.
No, but there's people on their comments. I don't know if you've ever sometimes
Yes,
I'll sit
I've
through them.
seen-
People
yeah.
are like, "Oh my God, you should die! You're so ugly!" Blah blah blah. Reading that millions of times, I'm sure it's
Some of them are gruesome
Well,
too.
well,
what
hey,
people are saying.
I agree with you, but you should die, and I saw you at this coffee shop, and I'm going to kill you are two totally
Well,
different
I wasn't
things.
even saying that, but I'm saying they get thousands of stuff
For
like
sure,
that
but
all the time.
I think thousands of things like that, they almost become funny.
I don't know. I think
It
at the end of the
depends.
day, listen, any of us can say we are the
Not when you're,
strongest willed
16.
people. you read things about yourself, negative things, it has an effect. I think there's no one that can say that doesn't bother me at all. At some point in some day, for a millisecond, I don't believe it. I would call you a liar.
Because the internet is a funny place. The internet is there's a lot of serious parts of it, but overall, it's a joke. The internet's insane.
I don't know, because a lot of people that use the internet, that may be your take, but I think a lot of users don't always take it as a funny place. Some of them have when people write these hateful comments, they truly hate these people.
But yeah, but the
That's
people are
real hate.
But for somebody to write those comments, they're a child. They're a
Sure.
metaphorical child. So you can't take them seriously. It's a funny place. You're like, how do you take this person seriously?
You're a superhero, Bobby.
No,
That's not the first time I said that to
I
you
do
tonight,
know that.
actually. Don't remember what the first one was.
Bobby for president 2020.
2020, Bobby and Kanye. We'll call it Bob Ye.
Oh, and I won't be there to support. So.
Nick will be in
That made me
Canada.
feel
Unless
a
I
little
get
nauseous,
shoes.
I think.
Okay, a couple other things for the episode tonight. Chloe goes to BookCon with no book.
What was that? I even turned to you guys and said, she has a book?
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
And Kris is like, yeah, I don't know why you're there.
How about
I
their
just booked
apps?
it.
They all have their apps now.
Dude,
that
that's
has
in
been
news and
launched.
gossip. Would you cut it down? For 2
Sorry,
seconds?
I'm just breaking news all the time. Cutting edge.
Wait, this just happened. This just is.
Sarcasm? I'm really bad at reading sarcasm, so I don't know.
all the girls on Cosmo. That's
Yeah.
a cool thing, I guess. Sure.
Okay.
It happens so much.
They're on every
Yeah.
magazine. It's like, I don't. Is that really cool at some
How
point?
stupid does that publicist feel, though, that Kim was talking about her very first publicist that said,
Unless-
you will
Unless-
never be on Cosmo.
Unless the publicist is Kris and Kim was trolling her.
No, the lady that Kim was talking about a stereotypical, like, I feel like she was a character in a TV show of like magazine
Yeah.
runner.
Yeah.
Everything about her accent, her outfit,
Her haircut.
her
Oh, no,
holding the coffee, like
Yeah.
everything was just super.
Joanna?
Was that her name?
I haven't met her, but I've been like this close to her. I
Yeah.
went to New York last year for Cosmo's Fun Fearless Life, and she was really awesome.
She seems nice.
She's like-
she seems cutthroat, like she's gonna run a
She's
magazine.
like the epitome, like you
Yeah.
can't, yeah, it's like
kind of crazy.
it's crazy.
Did you start living a fun, fearless life after that conference?
I did
I got
for
that
a few
vibe.
months, and then I got a job.
Well, folks, you can't have it all.
It's a takeaway from tonight's
That should be the takeaway. As we go to news and gossip, any things before we hit news, guys? Anything we're missing?
Weird to see Scott in this like happy
Yeah,
banter
that's
way when we
actually-
all know the real thing
The
that's
real
going
deal,
to be
Holyfield.
happening. What were you just gonna say?
I was
I
like,
thought you were
yep.
gonna say it differently.
Great minds
I
think
thought you were
alike.
going to say different.
Let's
I
do.
disagree with everything Nick said.
Correct.
Let's do a little news and gossip.
That's why we're on this side.
Help me.
I've got 3 things today. You can't boil down Kardashians any week, any time, ever, especially coming back from an off season. So here are just 3 things. They're not the biggest 3. People magazine has 5 reasons why it might be time for Rob Kardashian's return to Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Reason number 1, he's under contract. Womp womp.
Okay.
I don't think that matters.
Reason number 2, he's more active on social media. That's true.
Coming back a little bit.
Reason number 3, looks like he's getting healthy.
That's good.
That's true. Reason number 4, Chloe has been hinting.
All right.
And reason number 5, they're talking about him on the show again. Do you guys think
They've
Rob will
always
be
talked
back?
about him on the show.
soon?
Where's reason number 6? He wants to be on the show.
Well, forget that. We're talking about the
Great
Kardashians here.
point. Wow, my side of this panel is so smart. Oh my gosh.
Guys!
Really, Nick? It's really smart. It's really smart.
Sarcasm.
No.
No.
Never.
Dead truth. Honestly, I think Rob, I feel bad, but I think now that he's posting these Instagrams, that list is triggered off of like 1 out of 2 or 3 posts that he did. Hopefully that means he's getting better. Will we see him on the show? I hope not. I really don't want to see him on the show. I think that's only going to be a negative thing. Live your life, like you said, in the not public eye.
I don't want him to like be forced and then it goes into this whole other
Yeah.
Or the
cycle
public
again.
eye on your terms, not this vehicle that may not be
Right.
for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Guess we'll see. Kim's tweet, the Pope is dope. Did you guys see this one?
I
did
didn't, but
not.
she can rhyme, and that's great.
Kim said that
Kanye is just really influencing her in a really positive way.
Kim literally sent that tweet. The Pope is dope. An Argentinian news website misunderstood it, thought it meant the Pope was on drugs.
Are you kidding me?
Not even kidding. Caused a minor outrage in Argentina, possibly elsewhere too, I'm not sure. Tons of nationalist pride. Here's the thing. It was written on this website by a no byline author. So there wasn't like a by Nick Grava, by Bobby DeMuro. It's easy to put stuff up when you don't have a byline like that.
right.
Yeah,
You can
it
just be
is.
inflammatory and you can say,
But the internet's just funny, right? Isn't that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
the internet
That's
is
just
funny.
that's just
That's-
hilarious.
that you laughed at it.
Honestly,
it's
knee
funny to
slapper.
me. It's funny
So
to me.
funny.
But people took it wrong and they misinterpreted Kim's tweet. Kim, the internet is funny. Kim made a funny tweet.
That is true. I mean,
Is it
I think
it
it's
deep humor? No, of course not. But it's tongue in cheek. Like, let's have some fun.
The Pope is dope.
The Pope is pretty dope.
Yeah, he's
Pope
pretty
is
cool.
dope.
The
I
Pope
like
has a
him.
Pope mobile. He's a really dope.
Yeah.
There's this picture that looks like he's in like a P Diddy music video. Do you guys see that?
No, I
he's like walking through and like all the lights behind him, so it's like super bright and he's obviously in all white. And then there's like the press like taking pictures of him as he walks down this
Oh my
thing,
God.
and he looks like he's like
That's
I'm
epic.
the
like a-
man
in
when
like
I
a-
walked.
In like an early 2000s.
Yeah,
Oh,
just like-
I gotta see this picture.
Like Mo Money, Mo Problems
Yeah,
video.
Oh, the caption was "Mo sermons, Mo problems."
Yes! I gotta go find that. That's awesome.
like a jagged edge. kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly
Okay.
like a jagged edge.
All right, I gotta look
music
at this.
video.
Third one, I'm glad you got that reference because boy, that was a big matzo ball hanging
I
out there.
still listen to Jagged
YouTube
Edge.
I love Jagged Edge.
Okay,
They have
thank
one of my favorite CDs.
You don't know, do you?
That thing.
Oh my gosh.
I glanced
That's
over
our
here.
first disagreement tonight.
No, I agree. I bet they're amazing, and I agree with anything. I just haven't.
Hold
been...
on. I gotta make sure you know.
No,
You know
stop,
the
don't
song
do
with
this song.
Nelly, "Where the Party At"? Jagged Edge
what
is
about
on that song.
the "Want to Get Married" song? I
Wanna
just wanna
get married? Yeah, that's good. Ooh, fire.
That was
Yeah.
good,
He
Nick.
has no idea.
Yeah, no, okay. Let's move on.
I just thought it was great how I looked to you when you're saying you know Jagged Edge, and I glanced at Nick, and his eyes just got real big for like a
I
half
hate
second.
when people call me out on not knowing certain
He's
things.
like, oh no, I can't comment on that. Oh, no.
Third one, final piece of news and gossip. You guys have seen it at home. It's a couple weeks old now with us returning. Kardashian websites. Hit or miss?
Well, it's kind of annoying for me who refuses to subscribe, but you've got to pay $2.99 a month for
Oh
that.
wait, I
Wait,
didn't know
what?
that.
A lot- so they
Is
have
the app too the same thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, so it's included, but like you've got to pay for the subscription. They have like a few things that you can read, you know, courtesy of them. But if you want to get like a lot of the footage and more of the in-depth stuff, you've got to buy the subscription.
I gotta hand it. I think it's. I don't want to say genius, but it is a great. They're being a monopoly. They're not putting their videos on YouTube. They're not putting their things here. They're putting it right on their app.
They're
They
like
make the
Taylor
money.
Swift.
They control it exactly.
Well, and they're doing a bunch of like makeup tutorials and stuff that their fans would really want to see. You know what I mean? All that stuff. And then Kim also put up a, and this wasn't part of the subscription, so anyone could see it. She has like this section on her website that's like from the desk of Kim Kardashian or whatever, or it's like a
She
note
got a
from.
desk?
It's like a note from whatever the title of it is. Anyway, it was about Caitlyn, and it kind of went more in depth about the first time. I found this really interesting, actually. The first time. So when she was 16, or no, when she was 21, when she walked in the garage and saw Bruce dressed as a woman, that was the first time she ever saw him dressed as a woman. And she said that moment it kind of clicked because when she was 11, she overheard her dad, Robert Kardashian, like chumming it up with his friends about how, Bruce dresses like a woman, all this stuff. Like, so Robert Kardashian knew and was like kind of gossiping about it, is what the letter made it seem like. And Kim overheard that conversation from her dad, but like was always like, he's probably just like jealous of Bruce being with my mom, like blah blah. But she never said anything because she didn't want to like cause any, you know, like rift in the family or whatever. But anyway, when she was 21, 10 years later, and sees him dressed as a woman, she was like, oh my gosh, my dad wasn't actually like that was real. He knew that whole time. And so I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And at the time, she only told Courtney, and they never told Kris about her walking him in the garage and seeing Bruce. But I'm sure that Kris had seen it before.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
So there you have it.
I didn't know that. It
That's
was
why you go
So
on the website.
that is a thing I got from the website. So there you have it.
from the desk of Kim.
From the desk of Kim Kardashian.
That's the future of celebrity too.
Yeah.
Control your own
absolutely.
message.
It's exactly it.
Yeah. And there was always a niche of people who were going to pay for you. It's that stupid Gwyneth Paltrow website, Goop.
Yeah.
Hate that. But listen, she found it. She found a niche. You know, all these people find these niches. This is just another one.
Goop?
Goop.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Speaking
Don't.
of, if you haven't already, and this is just, you know, a freebie, you're welcome already. Stephen Colbert did a hilarious play on all of the celebrities that have like lifestyle websites and lifestyle brands and all of this stuff. And there's like one part of the clip where he's like, hi, welcome to my living woods, because it's just hilarious. You've got to look it up. It's so funny. He's like making fun of Goop and like all of those like lifestyle brands that celebrities do.
It is becoming.
But it's like lifestyle stuff, but everything's like super bougie and super expensive.
Lifestyle stuff that you can never have, but we'll tell you how you can get it.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that's it. Tough to do predictions, but if anybody wants to take a crack.
Well, I guess they're going to do the whole Scott stuff next.
Yeah. They have to.
Yeah.
But we've only got 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
This is a little 4-episode mini thing.
Promotion for Dash.
Yeah. Anybody seen Dash?
No.
It looks like a train wreck. Never.
But it won't be. It will be probably
I've seen
amazing.
like some of it, but not
numbers.
all of it. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy.
Kardashians are in it, right? They have appearances.
Like Malika and Khadijah.
Well, Kim like stops. They like stop by the store.
Do you remember last year when they did that thing where they took the Dash dolls and they ran up the hill or whatever? Yeah. My interpretation is be the opposite of that. So it's like ours was mostly Kardashians, a little Dash. This will be like mostly Dash, a little Kardashians, but the same idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, guys. It's been fun as always. You guys are great. Before we get going, social media, Twitter, Instagram, wherever the hell you guys are. Nick, start off.
You can follow me at Nicholas Grava, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat.
Woo! So wait a minute. So I gave out my Snapchat on this show a year ago, and y'all laughed at me for this.
Now it's a relevant thing.
Every celebrity has a Snapchat. Bobby, vindicated, Sterling, go.
Please.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Kate.
Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
I've got a lot of problems. I'm on Twitter at Bobby DeMuro. We are on Twitter at Afterbuzz TV. We're on every social network at Afterbuzz TV. Subscribe, follow, like, do all that sort of mumbo jumbo. The internet's not serious, so whatever.
Yeah,
we'll see
Bobby,
you guys.
superstar, president 2020.
Yes, we'll see you guys next week on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Good night. Have a great week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.